Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Steve with Real Progressives. This is going to be a quick talk today. It's really important that we focus on this because while we've been focused on clean water and we've been focused on the Dakota pipeline and we've been focused on people in freezing weather and rubber bullets and water cannons and all kinds of Gestapo-like brown shirt tactics from our police force, all the while, the GOP has been sneakily behind the scenes trying to cut Social Security, trying to cut Medicare, trying to cut all the social safety nets and services that we as Americans have grown accustomed to using and needing, and quite frankly, many depend on it. Now, unfortunately, our friends, the Democrats, they're just as bad because they think they have to fund this stuff. They think they have to make it a revenue neutral funding thing. We've got to raise the age limit on FICA. We've got to go ahead and raise taxes to pay for things. God, because we can't pay for things without taxes. So the Republicans are fighting a war because they don't want their taxes raised. They don't want to pay taxes for this crap. They want it to be done away with. And the Democrats are more obsessed with raising taxes to pay for stuff than actually preserving the programs that are there. Which one's right and which one's wrong? They're both wrong. And I get tired of people acting like they're bored and they wonder why we talk about economics so much. They wonder why we talk about these silly currency things and these silly monetary sovereignty things. It's so silly. It's so boring. Oh, and then they saunter in, yeah. You can go ahead and just print all this money you want and there'll be no inflation, right? LOL, Trollville troll, moron hiding behind a keyboard. Moron hiding behind a keyboard. And that's both Democrats and Republicans. There is no monopoly on stupidity. They both got it in spades. First things first, folks, what? Taxes don't fund spending. Remember, we keep saying this over and over again? Why do you think we say it? Why do you think that it would be something that I would repeat over and over again just because I think it's a cool buzzword, a great motto, a good bumper sticker, or a t-shirt? No, it's because it is singularly the biggest battle that we have with the other side. Every single thing you claim to care about is a direct result of how we're going to fund it, how we're going to pay for it. But it's too boring to many people. It's just boring. They don't want to learn. They don't want to care. It's too much. Why do you keep talking about economics, Steve? Why do you keep talking about currency stuff? When are you going to start focusing on how bad Trump is? When are you going to start worrying about these things? When you guys actually, not you guys, anybody that knows this stuff, I'm not talking to you. Full stop, caveat. If you are one of the people that actually takes the time to be a good citizen and learns this stuff, hashtag not talking about you. So don't own it. Don't take it personally what I'm about to say, because it's going to be dropping the elbow of truth with a taste of bitch slap to go with it. The fact of the matter is that Americans over and over are being sold a bill of goods. They're being lied to by the right because the right's saying it's insolvent. My God, we can't afford it. What do? We've got to cut or the country is going to go belly up. What? We're going to pass it on to our grandchildren. And tell me, that emotional plea, tell me that doesn't work for almost everybody. People are like, oh my God, I don't want to pass this horrible thing on to my grandkids. We better cut it, right? Makes sense. If you're not doing the homework, if you're just gliding along. My God, I don't want to pass this horrible debt on to my kids. I know how hard it is for me to make my bills every month. My God, and then they're going to raise taxes too? We've got to cut Social Security. Oh my God, we've got to cut Medicare, right? Isn't that what you hear? The flip side. Guys, it's a cost of living in civilized society. We've got to raise taxes to pay for things. Hey guys, if we just up the age for Social Security, man, we could save it for another. Full stop. Wrong. We are monetarily sovereign. Every single dollar, no matter what that fancy little piece of paper you get sent every year that shows your contributions to Social Security, guess what? It's a piece of paper. It's a computer somewhere. Your dollars are deleted. Not one penny you pay for Social Security actually funds Social Security. It is not insolvent in any way, shape, or form. So the idea, well, we've got to raise taxes on the rich to pay for it, right? Do you think the Republicans are just going to go for that? No. But yet the people that need Social Security are going to get screwed because well-meaning people don't realize that taxes don't fund spending. They don't realize that the act of spending is not in any way, shape, or form associated with the act of taxing. Every dollar spent is a new dollar. It's a digital dollar. Accounts are made. Credits are made. Electronic transfers are made. Deposits are made from account A to account B. Electronic dollars. And they never, ever, ever turn into a paper dollar until someone actually goes to the bank to make a withdrawal and says, I need that in 20s and 10s and 1s. And give me 100 just for good measure so I can wrap that around so people think I got fat stacks. There is no fiscal crisis. There is only a political one and an ignorance one. The American people have been lied to. Now, I don't have a problem with people not knowing. People not knowing is a result of years and years of propaganda. Years and years of piss poor bullshit logic, lies about economics that many have bought. What would the Democratic Party be without saying we got to raise taxes? Where would all their fights go? They wouldn't have any. So it's about power. The Republicans, if they didn't have the ability to cut taxes and say, we're saving you money, those damn tax and spend liberals, where would they be? You see what I'm saying? This myth keeps the two parties alive and well. What if we just say, fuck no, it doesn't work that way. We're done with your lies. It's time to take care of the people that need to be taken care of in this country. We've got to take care of people and stop the lie about the Federal Reserve, about the Rothschilds, and all the other sidebar things that distract and wreck people's ability to live. People's ability to live is hanging in the balance while the well-meaning people of the world talk about raising taxes to pay for things, and the jackasses talk about cutting taxes and cutting programs because, oh my God, we can't afford it, we're going to go broke. Do you not see why this is so important to understand? Does this game not sound ridiculous for a country that prints its own frickin' money? Does this not make you revolted at the idiocy? And then the people that once they're told and they know, still dig in, still demand to be wrong. That's when they become economic terrorists, traitors, and treasonous bastards wrecking our nation. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. If you're perpetuating the myth and you know better and you've heard, and you know, and you still perpetuate it, you have the blood on your hands of every person screwed out of these programs. The people that are losing out on Social Security when these cuts go through, it will be every bit as much on the hands of those who wanted to raise taxes to fund things if they know better. And you do. Once you've heard, you know. The links are there. If you don't read them, you're just being a bad American. You're not helping out the people that need your help, and you're not helping your own family. This is a real debt. The debt of ignorance is the kind of debt you pass on to your kids. A monetarily sovereign nation isn't sweating debt like you and I know it. It's not the same thing. But the Republicans are about to steamroll getting out just really wrecking Social Security. Do you have the bullets in your gun, your mental gun, your econ gun to fight the Republicans back? Do you have the knowledge to beat them? Do you have the knowledge to tell Democrats to stand down and stop the bullshit about raising taxes to fund things when they don't fund anything? Do you have that knowledge? I say you do if you've heard me. If you've read the links, you certainly do. You absolutely have that ability to do that. If you have skipped reading the links, if you insist on acting like the federal government should be run like your household finances, if you insist on repeating lie after lie after lie, even when disabused of such idiocy, you are an economic terrorist. Do not point over at the GOP. Do not point over at the Democrats. You, if you know better and have been disabused of these lies, continue to perpetuate them instead of realizing these people that are getting ready to get cut out of Social Security, out of Medicare, etc. They are counting on you to be a good citizen, learn this stuff, and go fight. Just because you can go and get shot with a water cannon or so doesn't make that any more important of an activist role than it does to fight for Social Security and fight for proper economics for this nation so that we stop hurting our most vulnerable citizens. It's up to us, you and me, to disabuse the world, to disabuse these politicians of the lies they keep perpetuating. If we abdicate that role, if we abdicate our role in this fix, we have no one to blame but ourselves. That is a true debt that you are going to pass on to your kids. The debt of ignorance is perhaps willful ignorance. When you know the truth, you've been told the truth, and yet you hold on to a lie, that is a debt you're passing on to your kids that, in my opinion, is the only unforgivable debt you can pass on to them. If you've been told the truth, you choose not to read, you choose not to activate, you choose not to fight with the good tools as opposed to the BS tools, then you have forsaken your own kids to a debt that you'll never be able to pay back. Folks, it's time to get mad. It's time to get real. And it's time to take this shit seriously. If you ignore this stuff, you ignore it to the detriment of every elderly person on Social Security. That's right. If you ignore economics, you put your laziness, your lack of willpower, your lack of discernment onto the lives of every person that suffers from a GOP destroying of the social safety net. That's pretty heavy shit right there. That's the kind of debt I don't want to pass on to my kids. That's the debt that I don't want to pass on to your kids. So my passion stems from knowledge, from years of hard-fought knowledge, and watching the things happen before our eyes. The GOP is one state house away, one, from calling a constitutional convention. Guess what the one subject matter is that they have got bipartisan support enough to actually make a constitutional amendment to destroy our nation because of ignorance? Guess what it is? A balanced budget amendment. Can you imagine being the moron that thinks a balanced budget is good for a monetarily sovereign nation? Can you imagine being that guy? Can you imagine the shame of looking at your kids and telling them that you put the constraints of your own household budget on the federal government, which is monetarily sovereign? Can you imagine having to tell your kids that you did that? I can't. That's shameful. That's shameful. It's an embarrassment. It's an abomination. Because the fallout from that kind of non-intellectually true statement is your kids will suffer. You will once again screw the country up, worse than the people that took away our pensions, took away all the benefits that we once had. We're like the first generation ever to have a lesser quality of life than our parents. That's sad. That's horrible. And it's all because of a lack of understanding of what happened in 1971. 1971, Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard. And at that point in time, we went to a free-floating, sovereign fiat currency. There is no inflation, there is no devaluation of the currency because we don't have a finite pool of gold backing our dollar up anymore. It is not on the petrodollar. We're not backed by that. We're backed by taxation. The reason why our dollar holds its value is because we tax in a currency denominated in US dollars. That's it. You didn't know that because you were too busy listening to Ron Paul, watching Peter Schiff and his bullshit gold bug commercials at 3 a.m. on some bad Bravo channel. I'm telling you, I am giving you the tools. What you do with them is what you're going to have to look your own kids in the eye and say, I read this guy's links, I thought he was full of shit, and I decided it would be better for you to get screwed by a balanced budget amendment rather than learn. That's what you'll have to tell your kids. Because it's not about me. I don't give a shit about me. I care about our country, I care about our kids, and I care about you learning economics. I had to unlearn an entire MBA that was taught with the whole Chicago school monetarism bullshit of Milton Friedman that was pertinent pre-1971. All the manufactured unemployment crap that they still peddle, the NARU, all this stuff is bullshit. I didn't learn the proper sectoral balances when I was in my MBA. My God, folks, the most important budgetary tool to assess the health of an economy, the trisectoral balances, they didn't even teach in the MBA program. It's no wonder we're dumbed down. Our colleges and our universities even teach piss poor economics. Pre-1971 monetarism. And now it's come to roost. Now your grandmothers and your mothers, and you're looking at them as they're shaking with their late in life illnesses, and they're hoping, just hoping and praying that Social Security is going to be there for them. And if we don't fight for it, if we don't learn how to fight for it, it's going to be gone. I've seen lots of pundits. I've seen lots of so-called progressives using the same GOP economic logic to explain how to save it. You cannot be a revolutionary doing non-revolutionary economics. And the economics I'm talking about, here's the funny part. This is the best part. Unlike the Venus Project, which truly is just idealism, it's a great idea, but it's still idealism. What I'm referring to today, not tomorrow, not last month, today is already in place. We just don't use it because we've been lied to. It's how they maintain their power. It's how they maintain their power. And I watch people that are peers of mine talking about saving different things, but they don't even understand economics. They don't understand economics. And when they do live streams, they don't understand economics. And it breaks my heart because I'm trying to give you food, heaven, manna from heaven, to teach us how to win this war right now. Don't let pride be the thing that stands in your way of saving our nation. When they go to file for a constitutional convention, how are you going to know to push back, to block a balanced budget amendment, if you don't know how to even fight for Social Security? Folks, I'm giving it to you right now. Giving it to you now. Will you step up? Will you? I'm begging you. For God's sake, I'm begging you. Begging you. Wake up. The United States doesn't borrow US dollars from China. It doesn't. It doesn't borrow US dollars from Brazil. It doesn't. It doesn't borrow them from anywhere. The United States when the government, when the federal government, when our Congress writes a bill into law, those dollars are spent into existence right then. I'm telling you, there is no piggy bank with crumpled up old dollar bills from your tax dollars or your FICA taxes or anything else. It doesn't work that way. Taxes at the federal level are deleted. They're a tool to manage inflation. They're a tool to drive currency. They're a tool to give value to the US dollar. But they don't fund anything. In fact, they could be cut. And that would be a good stimulus. And still raise Social Security. And still build out infrastructure. And still give Medicare for all. And still give us green energy. But you gotta know economics to get this, folks. And I'm telling you right now, if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. And I'm going to give you the tools to do it. It's just a matter of, do you want to learn it so that you can save our country? Not me, us. Not me, us. So with that, I'm Steve Grumbine with Real Progressives. If you like our live streams, please help fund Real Progressives at our Patreon account. If you would like to follow us on Twitter, please do go to Twitter. If you would like to follow us and be able to watch our videos in constant replay, go ahead to our YouTube page. Follow us on YouTube, sign up for our YouTube channel, because we'd like to start pushing our live streams there as opposed to Facebook, which screws with our reach. We've got 100,000 plus people and we end up getting 79 watching. Think about it. Facebook is doing a screw job on us. The other thing is if you'd like to write for us, we have a writer's intake box. You can sign up and become a writer for Real Progressives. And if you would like to volunteer for future actions, we'll be doing direct actions, marches, you name it. By all means, sign up to be a volunteer. Our director of activism, Pete Perry, is on fire, on target, ready to rock the world. So we'll be doing Occupy inauguration on January 20th. 21st in Washington, D.C. And on April 15th, our goal is to have a march for economic justice where we can take this very concept straight to the halls of Congress, straight to the IRS, straight to the Federal Reserve, straight to the Treasury, and hopefully get enough big speakers and hopefully get enough attention from the media to blow this sumbitch wide open. Because it's time, folks. You got to kick the training wheels off. It's time for us to get past this idea that taxes fund spending and start fighting like mad. With that, have a wonderful day, everybody. This is Steve with Real Progressives. I'm out.